Good morning, Lake Grove. This is the Reservoir devotional for the day, and we are continuing to dive into what it means to live the compassionate life. And it's on page 221 in our devotional guide here. The theme of the week is justice for every person. And right off, this first passage for the week comes from Matthew 25, verses 31 to 46. And it will be so familiar to you when you open it up. It is such a strong teaching of Jesus and of really a defining of a reality. And here's what I want to draw our attention to today. Our actions really matter. They matter in the moment as we are doing them. They matter as we walk through our days. And they matter in that global perspective at, in a sense, the end of all time. In this teaching, Jesus says that the Son of Man, maybe himself, God, Jesus, Trinity, will gather all the people these are people who think they know him, know what it is to follow and serve God, and then begin to divide them out. And the division is on compassionate action, isn't it? He'll say to them, "Oh, blessed are you who did these things." And what were they? They were taking care of those who were hungry, who were thirsty, who were strangers, who were naked, who were sick, imprisoned. And so it's those who took care of those and those who did not. The deep invitation here is that we live a life that is looking for those in need. And not only looking, but then paying attention and responding to that need. It matters. We often use the image of a shepherd and Jesus does for himself, calls himself the good shepherd, right? And then there's this image of a shepherd that is actually judging the people, discerning, taking care of the flock. I want to pull our attention to another scripture passage that reminds us of another good shepherd, and it's in Ezekiel 34. If you want to follow along, hey, I say go spend a little time in that whole chapter. But I want to pull out a couple verses that relate to what we have today. I'm starting at 34:17, where God says, "As for you, my flock, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will judge between one sheep and another, and between rams and goats. Is it not enough for you to feed on the good pasture? Must you also trample the rest of your pasture with your feet? Is it not enough for you to drink clear water? Must you also muddy the rest with your feet? Must my flock feed on what you have trampled and drink what you have muddied with your feet? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says to them. See, I myself will judge between the fat sheep and the lean sheep, because you shove with flank and shoulder, butting all the weak sheep with your horns until you have driven them away. I will save my flock. I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd. I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken." Did you hear in that reading the difference of the sheep who are feeding on the pasture, careless of what they are trampling and not allowing for those who are weak? What they are drinking and then being careless, letting the water be muddied and undrinkable for those who couldn't get there first. This is a powerful and an important image for all of us, and I think all of us who especially live in a place or in a time where we have plenty, but we know that not everyone does. This is an invitation to look at our life, to really pay attention, and to see what our actions are doing. Are they caring for others in need, or are they only caring for ourselves? I want to, for the final moment here in this devotional, share another prayer of Ted Loder. And it's in this book, Gorillas of Grace. And I'm going to read it and then just draw a little tie of why I think this prayer is a good one to connect to this passage. O persistent God, Deliver me from assuming your mercy is gentle. Pressure me that I may grow more human, not through the lessening of my struggles, but through an expansion of them that will undam me and unbury my gifts. Deepen my hurt until I learn to share it, and myself openly and my needs honestly. Sharpen my fears until I name them and release the power I have locked in them and they in me. Accentuate my confusion until I shed those grandiose expectations that divert me from the small, glad gifts of the now and the here and the me. Expose my shame where it shivers crouched behind the curtains of propriety until I can laugh at last through my common frailties and failures. Laugh my way toward becoming whole. Deliver me from just going through the motions and wasting everything I have, which is today a chance, a choice, my creativity, your call. O persistent God, let how much it all matters pry me off dead center. So if I am moved inside to tears or sighs or screams or smiles or dreams, they will be real. And I will be in touch with who I am and who you are and who my sisters and brothers are. That is the end of his prayer. And as we join him in praying that, it's, Lord, will you heighten our lives, our awareness, bring us out of ourselves, that we see who our brothers and sisters are. That as we suffer, we expand our hearts into caring for the suffering of all. Oh, dear friends, God is with us. Blessing to you this day.